Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to get really beautiful, glowy, dewy skin without feeling super cakey. It's perfect for summer, and the main focus today is really just going to be how to get flawless skin. I'm not going to do too much on the eyes or anything on the lips. I really want the focus to be on doing it in a very subtle way. First thing I like to do is pin my hair back. I like to have 2 bobby pins around. Just get it out of my face, okay? First, I prepped my skin with the Sunday Riley Good Genes Lactic Acid. I've been loving that, using it every day lately. It really helps with any discoloration and texture. The next thing I'm gonna do is just use a little, oh my God, why can't I speak as usual? The next thing I'm going to do is use a little bit of this Barbara Sturm molecular face cream. Like that's it, because I'm super oily. Put it everywhere. It's actually really nice. It's really lightweight. It's not mine though. Sorry, else. I stole it. And I like to pat it into my skin. I don't want to feel like there's a layer of moisture sitting on top. I just want it to feel very hydrated, and you want to have a little bit of that slip before you put on your foundation, just so everything glides on very smoothly. It's really important. If you want to have a beautiful complexion and you want your foundation to look great, it's all going to start with your skincare. Like don't cheap out on it. Just do it. It's important. It's gonna make you look so much better. You always need that from your skincare. Next, I personally love to do my foundation before my concealer, because if I do my concealer first, I'm gonna wipe it away with my foundation. So I like to really make the base of the face foundation. Been loving this Juice Beauty Phyto-Pigment Cream Foundation. It's super, super lightweight. It kind of feels like a serum, the texture. It's not thick at all. And I love that it's in this compact, and the way that you get it out is by pushing like that. So you're never gonna lose any product. There's no spillage, and it's that good. So this foundation is amazing at making your skin look dewy, very luminous, and it's very light. So it's a medium coverage, which I always prefer. I don't like to go in with full coverage. I'd rather build if I need it. This is a great option, especially for the summertime, because it is very lightweight. And Juice Beauty is all natural, so you're never gonna have any chemicals on your face, and you're not like rushing home at the end of the day to wash it off. It just feels like nothing. I think it has lotus and rose in it, so it smells really good, and it just feels nice on the skin. Yeah, I like the smell. I'm into it. I'm using the shade Golden Tan. I'm gonna use this brush by Juice Beauty. This is the Juice Beauty. That's all she wrote, literally. And I'm just gonna pat it all over the skin. You could see I'm already getting a really beautiful glow from it. I actually really like this brush. I always like to apply my foundation with a dense brush like this, because it picks up a lot of product. So I never really need to go back in for so many layers. It kind of just distributes it perfectly. Look, see? Pump. I love that. Look at that glow. There she glows. Oh my God. Something's wrong with me. And I love that this shade is like very spot on. A lot of the times I mix foundations and concealers just to get the perfect shade to match. But this is really spot on, because I have more of like a yellow greenish undertone, so a lot of the time it's either too pink or it's too golden, and this is actually perfect. Very into it. Barely use any product. When you pump it out, it's like less than pea size. And I've done that like 4 times, which is pretty incredible. Next, Juice Beauty came out with these Juice Boosts. It took me so long to figure out how to say it. I was saying Juice Boost. Juice Boost. This one's bronzing, this one's illuminating. They are so cool. I love the applicator. It's like this. Is it? It's plastic, but it's really cool how you pump it out. And I like to use this one for contouring. You can also mix it in with your foundation to give you more of a bronze look, or you can mix the highlighter in to give you more of an illuminated look. Because I'm oily, I don't like to mix it in and apply it everywhere. I like to do it a little bit more concentrated. So I'm gonna put this on top of my foundation. I'm gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand, and I'm actually gonna go in with a beauty blender and put it right on the high points of my cheeks. And I like to almost make a bit of a U. A V, a U. Who really knows these days? Like that is to die. It's to die. A little bit more on the other side. It looks like that. And my beauty blender is damp. Never use it dry. But you guys already know that. I hope. Oh, I hope. So there's really there's not much like color to it, which I really like. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I always prefer more of a natural glossy look rather than a very high shimmer look. And this is top notch. I'm gonna start looking to a mirror now because I haven't been this entire time. Yeah, I'm that impressive. So far we have the Juice Beauty Phyto-Pigment Cream Compact Foundation, which I absolutely love. You could see it on my skin. It's not cakey at all. My skin is still shining through. Even though it's medium coverage, I think I blended it out enough that you could still see a little bit of my imperfections, which I always like. And then on top of it, I did the Juice Boost. See what I did? I used the Juice Boost, the Juice Boost Phyto-Pigment in the Illuminator. Next, I'm gonna use the bronzing. And the reason I'm doing all of this before my powder is because they're creams. So I wanna just like get it out of the way. Back of the hand. And I'm using the tip for it. It's really, really nice. I'm very into this stuff. And whenever I'm blending my contour, I like to blend upward, not down. Because you want to keep everything lifted. And I really love cream bronzers, cream highlighters. I think that they look most natural on the skin. I've been using the Chanel, the Soleil de Chanel, and that's a cream, and I've just been loving it. But this is really good. I'm really into this. A little bit on the bottom of my nose because I like to make it look a bit shorter. Great. So that is the foundation, the highlighter, bronzer. Moving on. Concealer. Right now I'm using the Bobbi Brown Instant Full Cover Concealer. I'm using the shades Warm Natural and Honey. Like I said, I mix them a lot because it never feels like it's the perfect match. I'm first gonna put the darker color, the darker shade underneath. I first start with the darker shade, and then I put a little bit of the lighter on top. This is a great concealer if you want full coverage. A full cover. Beauty blender, it's damp, and start pouncing. I like to keep the center of my face all pretty bright. And now I'm just blending it out with that same Juice Beauty brush. I'm blending it out with that same Juice Beauty brush. I just really like how dense it is. I like how it blends, and I just love when you have a brush that you can use for almost anything. This is a really good foundation. I'm like loving how it's sitting on my skin. The next thing I'm gonna do is set it. I'm gonna use the Huda Beauty Banana Bread Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder. That is a mouthful. I am going to use my same beauty blender and just pat it on. The one thing that I don't like about this setting powder is that it kind of gets everywhere. But it's okay. I'm going to just wipe that away. Nothing new here, kids. Same old. But this is pretty crazy. This is, I'm really into the coverage on this foundation. And it works well with this concealer too. Moving on. Brows. I'm going to use the Bobbi Brown Brow Kit in the shades Gray and Mink. I like to mix the two together. I like to brush up the hairs. And again, I think mixing different shades helps to achieve a more natural look. It gives it a little bit more dimension. And for some reason, I'm a powder girl. I've always liked using powder on my brows, which is interesting because I prefer creams on the rest of my face. And I'm not creating a whole different shape with my brow. I am taking what I got and just accentuating that. And I always like to brush it up after just to see where I'm at. So for me, I'm more sparse underneath, so I want to fill in that gap. And you don't want to go overboard, just stop yourself. I know it's hard to stop because you just keep seeing like more and more gaps, but you really don't want to go crazy with your brows. It's like, it just gives it all away. Next, I'm going to take a little bit more of this highlighter by Juice Beauty, right on the back of my hand. This time I'm going to use my finger and kind of just move it around a bit. A little bit in the center of the nose, the Cupid's bow. A tad on the chin, you don't want it too shimmery. But the beauty about these is that you could just build and build. They're very easy to apply. And you can use as much as you want. You can use it under your foundation, over it. You can mix it in if you are pretty dry. It's just a really beautiful glow. But it's really, really pretty. And again, it's not heavy at all. Like I genuinely don't feel like I have anything on my skin. It's pretty amazing. And you guys know, like, I'm crazy when it comes to that stuff. Next, because this is a glowy look, I'm gonna add a little bit of this Tom Ford palette, a little bit of this glossy highlighter over it. It's completely sheer, but it just gives a little bit more moisture to the skin. Like, let's be real, I always like to look like I'm sweating. I really do. And your finger is a great tool. You could totally use it. I like to. I like the finish that I get. I like how it looks. Can't go wrong. Great. My favorite part is always blush. I love the way that blush looks. I think it just kind of like makes you look awake and fresh and healthy. So I love a good pink tint. I'm gonna use this Charlotte Tilbury. This is called the Pretty Fresh, Pretty Youth Glow Filter. And I'm gonna use the bottom shade, which is just called Blush. It is very pigmented, so all you need is a little bit. And I like to smile and put it right on the apples. Ideally, you'd use your ring finger for this, but I'm being a little crazy today. I like to add a little bit on the nose, just so I look like a little bit sunburnt. And then a lot of the times I take my foundation brush and I just blend out any harsh edges. Even if you don't see it, it's just kind of a good idea just to blend it all together. Kind of melts it into the skin a bit faster. For eyes now, I'm going to try the same Juice Beauty booster in Illuminating on the lids because I love a highlighted eye. I'm going to use this cream shadow brush by Bobbi Brown, and I'm just going to apply it just like that, right in the center, to almost create a halo effect. And then I'm going to blend that out with my finger. It's very subtle. It's really beautiful. This highlighter almost has like, it has like a pink tint to it, so it's really beautiful when it dries. Right in the center. You could also drag it a little bit into the inner corner, but you want to keep the outer corner pretty dark. You could see on the back of my hand that it has like this pink undertone to it. It's almost like a rose gold. It's really beautiful. Really easy to apply. It moves super easy, which is nice. It doesn't dry so fast. A little touch in the inner corner. Let's add a little more. It's one of my favorite spots to put a highlighter. I know it's no trick anymore, but it really does open the eye. Just like that. I love to just go back in after the look and use a fine brush and kind of just apply the product a little bit more concentrated. And I like to go above the brow bone as opposed to under it. I know a lot of people do underneath, but I like the way that it looks above the brow because it kind of lifts everything. For a little bit more of a glow, where did that just go? The one thing I don't like about this Charlotte Tilbury is that it gets everywhere. Back to the Beauty Blender, blending that out. This stuff is like blinding, but I'm here for it, okay? And it actually blends really nicely. It doesn't look like an offensive glow. It kind of just blends out into like a really beautiful, dewy, wet look, as you can see. Another thing that I'm really liking about this Juice Beauty stuff is that it pairs well with other things. I'm not always going to use products all from the same brand, so it's nice to see when you get new products that they work well with others. And this does that. I'm very into it. I'm going to put a little bit of foundation on my lip just to kind of take the pinkness away. And then I'm going to build on top of it. But you see how it kind of just mutes it? So So it kind of just takes it back to that beige tone. And then you can play with any color that you want without the undertone of your lip coming through. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury that we use on the cheek, and I love matching my lips and my cheeks. It's one of my favorite things to do every day. But if I left my lip as it was, the pink undertone of my lip would have changed the color of this. So now this is just the color on its own without the pink on my lip masking it. But I just love the look of the matchy. It's like being very put together. You know, like it's planned. So this is the look. I already have false lashes on, so I'm not gonna add any mascara. But if I were to do anything different with this look, if I didn't have these false lashes, I would just do a couple coats of mascara, keep it very, very minimal. I'm not looking for a dramatic lash. If anything, I'd use maybe like the Glossier lash stick because I want it to feel very natural, just like this entire face. I want to keep that very fresh vibe. So if you don't have false lashes, I would go and apply something that's light like that. I hope you guys love it. This is something that I would do all summer. I think it's perfect for a night out to dinner, just a regular day at work, anything. And it's super easy to do. And if you really do love to use a foundation, you guys know that I am not such a foundation girl, but when I do wear foundation, I love something that's super lightweight, very airy, and this Juice Beauty is a gem. So this is a must for me. These are a must for me. I love having the illuminating and the bronzing. You guys could see that I contoured with it, and I love that it's a cream. It's super easy to move and blend out. And yeah, and this brush has been my best friend for this entire tutorial. It's gotten me through everything. So for my new products, these are definitely my top ones. Thank you guys so much for watching. Love you all. I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.